Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you an update on the fire in Ventura County, BLM news, news about a gig economy, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitenick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. With an update on the Ventura County brush fire, it is now contained and almost out. 41 firefighters from the Kern County Fire Department were deployed to help with the fire. This included one dozer strike team with 5 personnel, Type 3 strike team with 22 personnel, and a Type 1 crew with 14 personnel. Yesterday, they were all sent back home. This fire quickly grew to more than 1,200 acres. It prompted mandatory evacuations and temporarily forced the closure of a section of Pacific Coast Highway. Strong winds fueled the Solomon fire north of Ventura overnight, flaring up a spot of fire late Saturday that was pushing towards the highway before firefighters knocked it down. A second flare-up occurred inside the burn area, but did not pose a threat to the fire line. More than 420 firefighters fought the blaze, assisted by one water-dropping helicopter. Pacific Coast Highway is now open in both directions, but motorists should be cautious of fire equipment working along the roadway. The brush fire, which was started by arcing power lines, began shortly after 11 p.m. Friday, about 10 miles north of Ventura. The blaze quickly spread with flames pushed by north winds that reached 50 miles per hour, authorities said. Only a few cleanup crews remain to make sure the fire goes completely out. In news from the BLM, we have this report. Right now, the BLM is still taking public comment concerning the governing of the people's land around us, the over 9 million acres of open land around us. And the plan is to control access to over 3 million acres in Kern County, along with San Bernardino, Inyo, Riverside, and Los Angeles counties. This plan is viewed by most outdoor enthusiasts as a way to limit or cut off access to the lands we own. To others that want to close off the lands for preservation of wildlife, they see it necessary to limit access by people. And it actually comes down to closing access by closing dirt roads that are out there now. Thousands of miles of roads. Remember, in past years, decisions were already made to close off access to a lot of land already. Now they want to close off more land. There are actually 4 alternatives being considered. First is no changes to the current plans. The current plan allows for over 5,000 miles of roads for OHV use, with about 3,000 miles closed off. The second alternative would allow about 4,000 miles of roads with over 10,000 miles of roads closed off. The third alternative, known as the preferred alternative, would allow over 10,000 miles for OHV use while closing about 4,000 miles of roads. And the fourth and final alternative would allow just under 6,000 miles of roads and close off about 9,000 miles of roads. The comment period for us to make comments about these 4 alternatives is now. The comment period will close January 25th, 2016. If you want to provide input, do so now. Your comments can influence this decision process. Don't sit back and think your comment means nothing. It does. Originally, the comment period closed last September, but due to public outcry for more time, they extended it to January 2016. So your voice does matter. If you want to view the plan alternatives in detail, go to the BLM website. To provide comments, you can email them to cawemopa@blm.gov. Or you can mail your comments to BLM, attention, WNRMP Plan Amendment, 22835 Calle San Juan de los Lagos, Moreno Valley, California, 92553. Time is running out. The best way to comment is by email. We'll put this contact information on the KZGN Facebook discussion site. To find it, just sign on to Facebook and search for KZGN-TV. So, if you care about access to our lands, get involved. Provide your comments now. Here's a new term for most of you. Have you ever heard about a gig economy? You know, every year we are giving birth to new terms. Many of these terms are related to the internet or the economy. While this may not be news to some of the millennials, I hope you know what millennial means, we have a new name for a certain economic segment of our workforce. It is about people that are either forced to or do so voluntarily work in a part-time job market. Those people are living in what some call the gig economy, where people create a living through a patchwork of part-time jobs. Sometimes this is intentional, sometimes it's not. The Bureau of Labor Statistics report the number of part-time workers keeps growing, but over the last year, the growth has been among those taking part-time jobs for non-economic reasons, meaning they didn't have to, they want to. Part-time work is classified as up to 34 hours a week. And some of these jobs pay pretty well, but some people do not work this way voluntarily. As Trump has recently made an issue about wages in America, he believes that there are too many people being forced to work many low-paying part-time jobs to make up for good-paying full-time jobs lost in our recession that has plagued the Obama administration. While the administration boasts about the low unemployment rate, the rate does not reflect the millions of people that aren't even looking for work anymore. People that have just given up looking for work and learning to live off the government. The unemployment rate also doesn't consider the ones taking lower paying jobs than what they used to have. Economists estimate that if those people were included in the unemployment rate, it would exceed 11%. These are people living in the gig economy. Some jobs that fall into this category are Uber drivers, freelance writers and reporters, some teachers, consultants, and any other part-time jobs. Some economists also state that this gig economy jobs are having a negative effect on the people that want to work full-time in these lines of work. If there are people willing to work for low part-time wages with no benefits, it has a ripple effect on the full-time job market. If a company can get the work done by using low-cost, no benefits, part-time workers, why hire a full-time person that costs more? So if you haven't heard it yet, now you have. Another hit on wages and jobs, the gig economy. Now stay with us. Coming up next will be the KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 105th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. So what happened in 2015? Well, here we are, just 2 days left to 2016. Do years really matter? Well, I think so. I can't help but look back to when I was a know-it-all 20-something. Yes, I'll confess, I was one of them. And of course, I was a know-it-all well before that age. I started my first business when I was 8 years old. I shoveled snow off driveways during snowstorms in Ohio. I made $5 per driveway. That was a lot of money back then when I was 8 years old. At 14, I got a work permit to work during the summer school vacation and was a delivery person in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. As a kid, I did get a small allowance for doing chores around the house, but it was never enough to cover my hobbies. My father said, "You have to live within your income." So if I wanted more, I would have to increase my income. So I did. I figured out a way to make money. Well, back to my 20-something years, this is when I thought being 40 was old and being retirement age was really old. And now I'm there. I passed 40 26 years ago. I now know that I didn't know it all when I was 20-something. Wait, did I hear that somewhere before? Oh yeah, I remember my parents telling me that I didn't know it all when I was 20-something. Well, they were right. And guess what? I'm still learning now. So here I am, getting ready to welcome in another new year, 2016. Wow. I remember thinking when I was 40 that I would be 50 years old at the turn of the century. The year 2000 seemed scary then. 2000 has long passed now. Well, as we approach 2016, I think back to the many things that happened to me, my family, our city, and our country. And there were hard things that happened, and good things that happened. And I know there will be hard things and good things that will happen in the new year. One major happy thing coming in 2016 to Shannon and myself is that we are going to welcome into our family a new granddaughter and a great-grandson. They are both due in spring. We are really looking forward to these new little lives to join it in future celebrations and family activities. And one thing I plan on doing next year is to figure out a way to not work so much. Operating 2 businesses with my wife Shannon is very time-consuming. Working almost 7 days per week, 12 hours a day, week after week, is getting old. I had to make an appointment 2 weeks in advance to put up Christmas lights at my home for Christmas. We are trying to figure out a way to cut back our work hours and increase our fun hours. We have to figure out a way to do that. Shannon and I are still in pretty good health. We thank God for that. 2015 was really a pretty good year, but it went by so fast. I still remember taking down the Christmas lights last January. Now I'm getting ready to take them down again. And it seemed like just a month ago, not a full year. I remember complaining about the hot summer weather. Now we are already halfway through winter and headed for another hot summer. These weeks and months are going by way too fast. And to all young ones out there that can't wait for summer vacation from school, remember how fast that vacation goes? It seems like it takes forever to get to summer vacation, then it's over way too fast. As you get older, your whole life is like vacation is over before you're ready for it to be over. I expect 2016 to be even better. Don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. And as I close this editorial, I can't help to feel for all those people in the middle of the country getting hit by floods and tornadoes. All the lives lost in those tragedies. One person was being interviewed saying this: life is so short that you should always say goodbye and that you love a person when you or they leave for the day. You never know when they might not come home later that day. That's so true. On a happy note, we do have the opportunity to have a great 2016. We can make good things happen. And of course, it will be an election year. We are just weeks away from the first elections. Even people that normally don't like politics are getting into this campaign. And it will be a lively campaign. For those that normally don't follow politics, note that this campaign could be one that will have so many surprises that you 20-somethings today will be telling your grandkids about in the future. This will be one this country hasn't witnessed since Teddy Roosevelt elections. We could be witnessing a historical event, so pay attention to this campaign. And we can't talk about 2016 without discussing the terror threat. Personally, the only thing that will probably affect more people is if we get more terrorist attacks on our soil. Most government officials are actually expecting that there will be more attacks. But we will fight back. These terrorists have to understand that just as they are strong in their beliefs to convert everyone to Muslim or be killed, we are just as dedicated to our beliefs in freedom and equality for all. These barbarians will not win the fight. So get ready. 2016 is coming. This Friday we start the new year. Am I excited? You bet. I expect 2016 will be exciting for me and my family and for our city and our country. In conclusion, 2015 and all its stories are almost in the history books. And 2016 will give us all new stories and exciting events, making it a new exciting year. Get ready, get on your horse and hold on. Let's do this ride together. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Now stay with us for weather when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Lane for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, a winter storm will bring heavy snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain and sleet, to portions of New England, as well as snow across portions of the north-central states. Flash flooding is possible in portions of the southeastern U.S. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas at 74, Georgia at 69, Arkansas at 42, northern Texas at 31, Arizona at 49, and Los Angeles at 56. And for us locally, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 21, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 51, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 24. East-northeast wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 51. North-northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear with a low around 24. North wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. And finally, New Year's Day, sunny with a high near 51. North-northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for today. All at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. KZGN-TV would like to thank you for joining us, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Stay tuned now for Ridgecrest Talk.